When people see me wearing a hijab, they often believe I'm oppressed or I'm under the subjugation or authority of a man. You see images of Jesus' mother, Mary, the mother of Jesus. You will always see her with her head covered. So when we see those images, you will think, wow, respect, love, religion, dignity, right? Woman, why do I wear this? The first and foremost reason is not because of men commanding me to do it. I believe that God tells me to cover in the Quran, which is our holy book. And one of the verses, it says, cover your beauty so that you may be known. Now notice, God is telling me I'm beautiful. I don't need any man to tell me I'm beautiful. So God's telling me, cover your beauty so that you may be known. He's not saying uncover your beauty so that you may be known. So with the hijab, people tend to think terror and things like this. Really, we are wearing this, because we honor it as something which is honoring us. It's respectful towards us. So women have often said, well, it's up to men to cover. It's up to men not to stare at us. Yes, because in fact, God, who I believe is the greatest psychologist, tells us in the Quran in another verse. He tells the men first. He says, don't stare. And he says to the men first, dress modestly. So many people don't know that men have to dress in loose clothing and always be covered between the navel and the knees. We have to dress modestly and lower our stare as well. That's the second command for the women. Don't stare and dress modestly. Professor Glick, he's done studies on this, and it's been shown that when men look at women who are underdressed, they look at them as a piece of meat, a sexual object to be abused and used. Research is telling us. But in a secular society, we say a woman is free. The less clothes she wears, the more free she is. In fact, I regard that as oppressive, because really we're not seen for who we are, we're seen for what we are. And the catwalks in Paris, Rome and New York can define what we wear, but God can't. I let my beliefs define who I am. And that's what Muslim and a woman is about for me. We have what is called a division of roles and responsibilities for men and for women. We all have rights. Our rights include a right to an education. And it's not just because I was born in the UK. The greatest scholars began from the Prophet Muhammad, his own home, his wives, his daughters, the women around him who were his companions. They taught some of the biggest scholars who the men follow to this day. So you have 4 schools of thought: Hanafi, Hanbali, Maliki, Shafi. Women were behind these schools of thought because the teachers of these scholars were women. That's education. We have rights of inheritance. So when our parent or someone dies and we get inheritance, our husband has no right over our earnings or our inheritance. This is Islamic law, and there's a wisdom behind that, because it safeguards women from being exploited by men who want to marry them for their money. Number 3, our rights in the home. We have to be the first teachers of our children. We should be nurturing and loving our children. Now secular society is all about the self. It's all about the self. Be good to yourself, gratify yourself, even if it costs neglecting your children. Okay, men can take care of the children, but not as well as the women. That's a fact. It's the reality, ground level, whether we like it or not. Say, oh, but men and women should be equal. In the Quran, we equal. We have equal access to God. But what do we mean by equal when it comes to roles and responsibilities? If we have to think as women, I want to be equal to a man, we can't use men as our standard. A man is not my standard. I am proud to be a woman, and I'm proud of the strengths I have as a woman, right?